This video presents an audio reading of the Gnostic Sermon on the Mount concerning rebirth as a Son of God, from the ancient Hermetic work Corpus Hermeticum. In this sermon, Hermes Trismegistus is instructing his son, Tat, in the mysteries of being born again through Logos. One may notice many similarities to Christian doctrine and New Testament scripture. This particular text is translated into English from the original Greek by G.R.S. Mead in Thrice-Greatest Hermes, 1906. The Secret Sermon on the Mountain concerning rebirth and the promise of silence, of Thrice-Greatest Hermes unto Tat his son. Tat said, "Now, in the general sermons, Father, thou didst speak in riddles most unclear, conversing on divinity. And when thou saidst no man could ever be saved before rebirth, thy meaning thou didst hide. Further, when I became thy suppliant in wending up the mount, after thou hadst conversed with me, and when I longed to learn the Logos or sermon on rebirth, for this beyond all other things is just the thing I know not, thou saidst that thou wouldst give me it, when thou shalt have become a stranger to the world. Wherefore I got me ready, and made the thought in me a stranger to the world illusion. And now do thou fill up the things that fall short in me, with what thou saidst would give me the tradition or initiation of rebirth, setting it forth in speech or in the secret way. I know not, O thrice greatest one, from out what matter and what womb man comes to birth, or of what seed." Hermes replied, "Wisdom that understands in silence, such is the matter and the womb from out which man is born, and the true good the seed." Tat said, "What is the sower? Who is the sower, Father? For I am altogether at a loss." Hermes said, "It is the will of God, my son." Tat said, "And of what kind is he that is begotten, Father? For I have no share of that essence in me, which doth transcend the senses." "The one that is begot will be another one from God, God's Son?" Hermes replied, "All in all, out of all powers composed." Tat said, "Thou tellest me a riddle, Father, and dost not speak as Father unto Son." Hermes replied, "This race, my son, is never taught, but when he willeth it, its memory is restored by God." Tat said, "Thou sayest things impossible, O Father, things that are forced. Hence answers would I have, direct, unto these things. Am I a son strange to my father's race? Keep it not, Father, back from me, I am a true-born son. Explain to me the manner of rebirth." Hermes replied, "What may I say, my son? I can but tell thee this. Whenever I see within myself the simple vision brought to birth out of God's mercy, I have passed through myself into a body that can never die. And now I am not what I was before, but I am born in mind. The way to do this is not taught, and it cannot be seen by the compounded element by means of which thou seest. Yea, I have had my former composed form dismembered for me. I am no longer touched, yet have I touch. I have dimension too, and yet am I a stranger to them now. Thou seest me with eyes, my son, but what I am thou dost not understand, even with fullest strain of body and of sight. Tat said, into fierce frenzy and mind fury hast thou plunged me, father, for now no longer do I see myself. Hermes replied, I would, my son, that thou hadst even passed right through thyself, as they who dream in sleep, yet sleepless. Tat said, tell me this too, who is the author of rebirth? Hermes said, the Son of God, the one man, by God's will. Tat said, now hast thou brought me, father, unto pure stupefaction, arrested from the senses which I had before. Lacuna in the text. For now I see thy greatness identical with thy distinctive form. Hermes said, even in this thou art untrue. The mortal form doth change with every day. 'Tis turned by time to growth and waning, as being an untrue thing. Tat said, what then is true, thrice greatest one? Hermes replied, that which is never troubled, son, which cannot be defined, that which no color hath, nor any figure, which is not turned, which hath no garment, which giveth light, that which is comprehensible unto itself alone, which doth not suffer change, that which no body can contain. Tat said, in very truth I lose my reason, father. Just when I thought to be made wise by thee, I find the senses of this mind of mine blocked up. Hermes said, thus it is, son. That which is upward borne like fire, yet is borne down like earth. That which is moist like water, yet blows like air. How shalt thou this perceive with sense? The that which is not solid, nor yet moist, which naught can bind or loose, of which in power and energy alone can man have any notion, and even then it wants a man who can perceive the way of birth in God? Tat said, I am incapable of this then, O father? Hermes replied, nay, God forbid, my son. Withdraw into thyself, and it will come. Will, and it comes to pass. Throw out of work the body's senses, and thy divinity shall come to birth. Purge from thyself the brutish torments, things of matter. Tat said, I have tormentors then in me, O father? Hermes replied, aye, no few, my son, nay, fearful ones, and manifold. Tat said, I do not know them, father. Hermes said, torment, the first is this not knowing, son. The second one is grief. The third, intemperance. The fourth, concupiscence. The fifth, unrighteousness. The sixth is avarice. The seventh, error. The eighth is envy. The ninth, guile. The 10th is anger. 11th, rashness. The 12th is malice. These are in number 12. But under them are many more, my son, and creeping through the prison of the body, they force the man that's placed within to suffer in his senses. But they depart, although not all at once, from him who has been taken pity on by God. And this it is which constitutes the manner of rebirth, and, lacuna in the text, the reason or logos. And now, my son, be still, and solemn silence keep. Thus shall the mercy that flows on us from God not cease. Henceforth rejoice, O son, for by the powers of God thou art being purified for the articulation of the reason or logos. Gnosis of God hath come to us, and when this comes, my son, not knowing is cast out. Gnosis of joy hath come to us, and on its coming, son, sorrow will flee away to them who give it room. The power that follows joy do I invoke, thy self-control. O power most sweet, let us most gladly bid it welcome, son. How with its coming doth it chase intemperance away! Now forth on continence I call the power against desire. Lacuna in the text. This step, my son, is righteousness's firm seat. For without judgment see how she hath chased away unrighteousness. We are made righteous, son, by the departure of unrighteousness. Power sixth I call to us, that against avarice, sharing with all. And now that avarice is gone, I call on truth, and error flees, and truth is with us. See how the measure of the good is full, my son, upon truth's coming. For envy hath gone from us, and unto truth is joined the good as well, with life and light. And now no more doth any torment of the darkness venture nigh, but vanquished all have fled with whirring wings. Thou knowest now, my son, the manner of rebirth. And when the 10 is come, my son, that driveth out the 12, the birth in understanding is complete, and by this birth we are made into gods. Who then doth by his mercy gain this birth in God, abandoning the body's senses, knows himself to be of light and life, and that he doth consist of these, and thus is filled with bliss. Tat said, by God made steadfast, Father, no longer with the sight my eyes afford I look on things, but with the energy the mind doth give me through the powers. In heaven am I, in earth, in water, air, I am in animals, in plants, I am in the womb, before the womb, after the womb, I am everywhere. But further tell me this, how are the torments of the darkness, when they are 12 in number, driven out by the 10 powers? What is the way of it, thrice-greatest one? Hermes replied, this dwelling place through which we have just passed, my son, is constituted from the circle of the types of life, or 12 signs of the zodiac. This being composed of elements 12 in number, but of one nature, an omniform idea. For man's delusion there are disunions in them, son, while in their action they are one. Not only can we never part rashness from wrath, they cannot even be distinguished, According to right reason, or logos, then, they naturally withdraw once and for all, inasmuch as they are chased out by no less than 10 powers, that is, the 10. For son, the 10 is that which giveth birth to souls. And life and light are unified there, where the one hath being from the Spirit. According then to Logos, the one contains the 10 the one. Tat said, Father, I see the all. I see myself in mind. Hermes replied, This is, my son, rebirth. No more to look on things from body's viewpoint, a thing 3 ways in space extended. Lacuna in the text. Though this sermon, Logos, on rebirth, on which I did not comment, in order that we may not be calumniators of the all unto the multitude, to whom indeed the God himself doth will we should not. Tat said, Tell me, O Father, this body which is made up of the powers, is it at any time dissolved? Hermes replied, Hush, son, speak not of things impossible, else wilt thou sin, and thy mind's eye be quenched. The natural body, which our sense perceives, is far removed from this essential birth. The first must be dissolved, the last can never be. The first must die, the last death cannot touch. Dost thou not know thou hast been born a god, son of the One, even as I myself? Tat said, I would, O Father, hear the praise-giving with him, which thou didst say thou heardest then, when thou wert at the 8, the Ogdoad of powers. Hermes said, Just as the shepherd did foretell I should, my son, when I came to the 8. Well dost thou haste to strike thy tent, for thou hast been made pure. The shepherd, mind of all masterhood, hath not passed on to me more than hath been writ down, for full well did he know that I should of myself be able to learn all, and hear what I should wish, and see all things. He left to me the making of fair things, wherefore the powers within me, even as they are in all, break into song. Tat said, Father, I wish to hear, I long to know these things. Hermes said, Be still, my son. Hear the praise-giving now that keeps the soul in tune, hymn of rebirth, a hymn I would not have thought fit so readily to tell, hadst thou not reached the end of all. Wherefore this is not taught, but is kept hid in silence. Thus then, my son, stand in a place uncovered to the sky, facing the southern wind, about the sinking of the setting sun, and make thy worship. So in like manner too when he doth rise, with face to the east wind. Now, son, be still. The Secret Hymnity. Let every nature of the world receive the utterance of my hymn. Open, thou earth, let every bolt of the abyss be drawn for me. Stir not, ye trees, I am about to hymn creation's Lord, both all and one. Ye heavens open, and ye winds stay still, and let God's deathless sphere receive my word or logos. For I will sing the praise of him who founded all, who fixed the earth, and hung up heaven, and gave command that ocean should afford sweet water to the earth, to both those parts that are inhabited and those that are not, for the support and use of every man, who made the fire to shine for gods and men for every act. Let us together all give praise to him, sublime above the heavens, of every nature Lord. 'Tis he who is the eye of mind. May he accept the praise of these my powers. Ye powers that are within me, him the one and all, sing with my will, powers all that are within me. O blessed Gnosis, by thee illumined, hymning through thee the light that mind alone can see. I joy in joy of mind. Sing with me praises, all ye powers. Sing praise, my self-control. Sing thou through me my righteousness, the praises of the righteous. Sing thou my sharing all, the praises of the all. Through me sing truth, truth's praises. Sing thou, O good, the good, O life and light, from us to you our praises flow. Father, I give thee thanks, to thee, thou energy of all my powers. I give thee thanks, O God, thou power of all my energies. Thy reason or logos sings through me thy praises. Take back through me the all into thy logos, my reasonable oblation. Thus cry the powers in me. They sing thy praise, thou all. They do thy will. From thee thy will, to thee the all. Receive from all their reasonable oblation. The all that is in us, O life, preserve. O light, illumine it. O God, inspirit it. It is thy mind that plays the shepherd to thy word, O thou Creator, bestower of the Spirit upon all. For thou art God. Thy man thus cries to thee through fire, through air, through earth, through water, and through spirit, through thy creatures. 'Tis from thy aeon I have found praise-giving, and in thy will, the object of my search, have I found rest. Tat said, by thy good pleasure have I seen this praise-giving being sung, O Father. I have said it in my cosmos too. Hermes replied, say in the cosmos that thy mind alone can see, my son. Tat said, yea, Father, in the cosmos that the mind alone can see. For I have been made able by thy hymn, and by thy praise-giving my mind hath been illumined. But further I myself as well would from my natural mind send praise-giving to God. Hermes replied, but not unheedfully, my son. Tat said, I, what I behold in mind, that do I say. To thee, thou parent of my bringing into birth, as unto God, I, Tat, send reasonable offerings. O God and Father, thou art the Lord, thou art the mind. Receive from me oblations reasonable as thou wouldst wish, for by thy will all things have been perfected. Hermes replied, send thou oblations, son, acceptable to God, the sire of all, but add my son too, through the word or logos. Tat said, I give thee, Father, thanks for showing me to sing such hymns. Hermes replied, happy am I, my son, that thou hast brought the good fruits forth of truth, products that cannot die. And now that thou hast learnt this lesson from me, make promise to keep silence on thy virtue, and to no soul, my son, make known the handing on to thee the manner of rebirth, that we may not be thought to be calumniators. But now we both of us have given heed sufficiently, both I the speaker, and the hearer thou. In mind hast thou become a knower of thyself, and of our common sire. Thank you for watching. Please like and share this video, hit the subscribe button and notification bell, and feel free to ask me any question in the comments section below. Due to the sacred nature of these videos, I would prefer to keep them ad-free. Please help me to do that by clicking the Patreon link in the description box below and make a donation to this channel. Or buy me a coffee with the Ko-fi tip jar link. PayPal is accepted. Every dollar counts. Thank you for your support.